former National Assembly Speaker Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula is back in the High Court in Pretoria today for her corruption case. She's facing 12 counts of corruption and one of money laundering for offences dating back to her time as Defence Minister. Mapisa-Nqakula served in that position between 2012 and 2021 before being appointed as the Speaker of the National Assembly. Watching developments for us is SABC News reporter Canny Maphanga, who joins us now live from inside court now, I see Canny. And of course, what shouldn't be lost to us is that we're still a couple steps back from the actual trial starting.
Indeed, good morning to you, Ayanda, and to the viewers at home. Well, we're still busy with housekeeping issues. It's not quite the commencement of the trial yet, because the former Speaker of the National Assembly wants further disclosures in the criminal matter against her. Now, for the viewers that are just catching up on this matter now, she is facing 12 counts of corruption and 1 count of money laundering in connection to her tenure as Minister of Defence. A former defence contractor has accused her of allegedly soliciting bribes in reference to those defence contracts that would have taken place there as she was Minister of Defence. Now, Ayanda, what we're dealing with now is the issue of the further disclosures. Now, it is a norm for an accused to get Part A of the docket, which will explain a gist of the kind of case that you are facing. You'll know the witnesses that will be called and the kind of case that the state will be bringing against you. But she wants further disclosures. That is Part B and C, and it's not a norm for those to be given to the accused when they're going to trial. However, if you want access to that part of the docket, then you have to come to the court and demonstrate why you need this for a fair trial. Now, essentially, I suspect what is the critical feature of Part B and C that she wants access to is this issue of the investigation diary. You may remember that when she first challenged this arrest, she always asserted or made the claim that this was part of a political ploy against her. Now, we know in the papers that she has filed recently, she has gone further to articulate this alleged political ploy and stated that her troubles began when she conducted or commissioned that panel into the Phala saga in the National Assembly. Now, we know that that report was not adopted. However, it was during her oversight at the National Assembly that that panel was commissioned and made those adverse findings. Now, she's attributing this particular case to that political moment that happened last year. Now, she is stating that she wants access to this investigation diary to support this claim that it is a political motive, that she was roped into this investigation towards the end, because she'll argue that if there is an investigation diary that she can have a look at, that the initial investigation that was pursued had nothing to do with her, and that she was roped in towards the end following her decision regarding commissioning that panel and, of course, the adverse findings that followed when she was Speaker of the National Assembly. Now, those proceedings will begin at 10 a.m. this morning, and if it is in the best interest of justice that she has access to Part B and C, which is usually not a norm, Ayanda, then the court, if it does see that this information that is in Part B and C is critical to her defence and her ability to fight this very serious offence and acquit herself of those charges, then she could be successful in getting Part B and C. But as I've stated earlier, it is not a norm for an accused to get Part B and C of the docket, but when a criminal trial begins, usually what starts off is that you get that Part A of the criminal docket and you get a clear understanding as to what you're facing as an accused. But it remains to be seen when she makes those arguments before the court this morning whether she'll be successful or not in getting those further disclosures in order to get a fuller understanding of the case against her.
And of course, if the state does deviate from the norm or the court deviates from the norm, it'll be interesting to hear why that is the case this time around. I suppose we'll have to wait and see as the cliche goes. Canny Maphanga, for now, thanks very much indeed. Canny, live to us there from inside the High Court in Pretoria.